Welcome back for more science. My favorite part of the month, science. I'm your host,
No,
Boston
it's not.
PhD. No, yeah, maybe it's game. I don't know. We got a lot of cool stuff we record every
True.
month. Yeah. I'm Boston PhD. Joining me as always, Dr. Moon.
Hi, go to sleep, etc., etc.
We realized we forgot to talk about what game the non-scientists are going to play next. And they have sent
Uh-huh.
us a memorandum that says Risk of Rain 2. So they're going to play that for the next month. So go join them over on the main
Yep.
show.
It's about time we hit another sequel.
Yeah, yeah. Um. All right. So we're here to pass judgment. Find out which if they are going to ascend or if they are going to go into the tentacled embrace of the deep, or cult of the lamb. I gotta keep it
Uh-huh.
thematic, Moon.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, I played this game. It's like a
I'm
pop
losing
quiz.
my faith in you, Boston. That's all I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
biscuits. Um. So we're gonna talk about Cult of the Lamb this time. Now that we're done playing it, we're gonna talk about whether we or not we like the game, what our final thoughts are, and whether we're gonna keep playing it after we are done with it on the show. Why don't you take it away, Doctor Moon?
Oh, so I played a lot of this game this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Ditto.
So much so that I beat the game this week.
Oh,
Uh,
congrats.
thank you. Um, let me start off with some pro tips first and foremost.
Okay.
So I think that you remember I mentioned to you, yeah, if I find a cultist I like, I make him look a specific way, so I know if I'm bringing someone
Right.
back from the dead, I use
Right.
that person. As early as the start of the game, if you make a bunch of bowls of poop,
Yeah.
you unlock the poop follower.
Okay.
Where the head is just a poop
Right.
thing.
Just the like
It used to
swirl
be
of
Mayhem.
dog poop.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Um, so I'm just saying that if you wanna, designate positives and negatives, there's a perfectly good negative one right there
Yeah, that's right.
for you to use.
That's great.
Nice and easy. I'm
Yep.
just saying.
We're gonna sacrifice this guy, and he ain't coming back.
Yeah,
He's gonna go
ideally
into the
not,
Thunderdome, and
please.
I'm gonna do thumbs down.
Yeah, I did that a couple of times, usually with two old people because I was out of options for getting rid of the old ones. So I
Yep.
was just like, okay, these two old people are gonna fight to the death.
That's right.
Uh,
That's right. That's right.
this makes me sound like a
Hashtag
psycho.
America. Am I right?
Yep. Hashtag the purge.
That's right.
Uh, okay, so there's that. That was one of my pro tips. So, Boston, have you looked at the achievements for this game?
Yeah, some of them are all right, and some of them are like, oh no. Okay.
So, I'm guessing you know about the beat the bosses without taking hits achievements.
Yeah. My least favorite thing in virtually any roguelike.
So, let me tell you how this game is so much better than Moonlighter.
Well, yeah. Let us count the ways. I
Number
love
one,
Moonlighter, by the way.
the achievements are not odd numbers. Screw Moonlighter.
Yeah.
Still have to finish that game. Number two, once you've beaten a boss, you know those pedestals that the boss's iconography is on in the dungeons that you steal stuff from?
Oh
That
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. When you've beaten that boss, if you smash that pedestal, it turns into a teleporter to the boss.
Wow. Okay, because I before like early on in the game, I was
It did
breaking those
nothing.
apart, and it does nothing. I was like, well, I'm not gonna waste my time then.
Uh-huh. Now, when you break them, it gives you a teleporter to the boss fight.
That's cool. That's smart.
So all this week, I have been working away. Now that the patch came out, thank you, Boston, for pointing
Yep.
that out, which fixed the rituals bug I was getting.
Oh, good.
So now instead of 5 people preaching in my sermons, all of them are there, which is a big
Yeah.
deal.
There we go.
Feels so much better when that room is full. Let me tell you. Um, that came out. The snail patch came out too.
Okay. I've heard some people gnashing their teeth about snails.
Yes, in the second dungeon, there are snails on the floor that you can kill, kind of like the
Hmm.
squirrels in previous dungeons,
The
that
little
drop snail
critters.
shells.
Okay.
You need 5 of the snail shells to give to the 5 altars that are in the open world points to get at the snail follower, which
Wow.
is
Okay.
a dude with a snail head, or a
Great.
snail shell on his head.
Okay.
But part of the achievements is unlock all follower forms.
Ah. Okay. Gotcha.
So that's why there would be gnashing of teeth about that in particular.
Right.
So I did that. I got all of my capes, all of my fleeces, I should
Nice.
say, as a
I
lamb.
I I just unlocked the white one, the one where you pull
Uh-huh.
4 tarot cards at the beginning. I like that one a lot. That one is real good.
So I was torn
Uh-huh.
when I'm doing my boss runs to try and get the boss dead without getting hit. I use one of two.
Okay.
I either use that one and hope for a good roll of those 4 tarot cards,
Mhm.
because if you go into a combat arena, or anything that's not a special kind of dungeon, like
Mm.
a food square or something like that, if you go into a fighty one, the very first room you come across is one of those statues for the bosses.
Okay.
So you pull 4 cards, you do one little mini dungeon, then you can go straight to the boss.
That's great.
Or I've been using the yellow one, which
Okay.
is the increased damage but don't get hit one,
Oh, right.
to go through that first dungeon trying to kill as many people as I can without getting hit,
Mm-hmm.
and then going into the boss with 225% damage.
All right.
And then it literally just becomes a dodge game. It's like I can take my
Yep.
time because 2 hits is doing so much damage. Um,
Yeah.
Here's a minor spoiler one for you too. If you happen to, you know how, I'm assuming you saw the curses and noticed the curses on specific rooms.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when it says the little symbol under it, it does a stupid curse. If you get the health is halved, take double damage one, that works for the boss too, just as an FYI.
Wow. All right. Interesting.
So keep an eye out for that one.
Right. Try and work it to your advantage.
Yeah, so literally, weirdly enough, the only achievement I have left in this game now is to kill the stupid frog boss without getting hit.
Okay.
And I was so annoyed because I had him down to very little health. He summoned his 2 big frog boys. I
Yep.
took one out, not a problem. I took the other out, got hit when he bounced once because I didn't roll quick enough by like a half a second.
Right.
And then the boss came back. I hit him once with a curse and he was dead. And I was like, really? Half a second? That's literally what just cost me this achievement.
Like 5 frames is what was between me and the
Uh-huh.
achievement. Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
frustrating.
The really stupid part of it is, apparently, as it always is, don't put this achievement in your games, folks. The Godhood achievement, which is get all of the other achievements,
Right.
they are the glitchiest achievements that exist. Like if
Yeah.
you have a game that has that achievement in, if one is going to glitch, it's probably that one because reasons.
What's funny is that's never the trophy that's a problem over on the PlayStation side, because that's always the platinum, and it seems
Platinum.
like there's some like internal programming for trophies on the PlayStation platform that's like, oh yeah, you got all the other ones, like at an OS level you get the other one.
Yeah. So it's a little bit frustrating, but
Yeah.
that popped early. So I now have
Oh.
one achievement left in the game, and it's
Great.
not that one. It's defeat the frog guy without taking damage. It's like,
Right.
okay, sure.
I'll
Let's
take
just
it.
hope that that one didn't glitch this one kind of
Right.
situation.
Right.
But no, I will get my last achievement, and I will probably be done with the game, and I will have enjoyed my time I spent with this game.
Right.
Is the roundup of all of that random conversation.
Right. Yeah.
What about you? Are you going to keep going?
Yeah, I'd like to keep going. I'd like to at least see the end, and once I get to the end, I'll see how close I am to all the other trophies in the game.
They're
But
honestly not that hard.
yeah, they all seemed pretty fair. It's just a lot of like just get everything, do everything, kind of achieve everything you can. And I gotta say, I think we talked about it last week. I really like a roguelike with an end. Like, of course, I like it. Roguelike is you can play forever. I'm still playing Isaac, but especially from a completion standpoint, but also from a recommendation standpoint. I like the idea
Mhm.
of like, hey, you want to play a roguelike forever? You can play Binding of Isaac, you can play Hades. You want one that finishes? Here's Cult of the Lamb.
Yep.
You got 20 hours, you can finish this whole thing. And also
Yeah,
like, hey,
probably
do you
also
like
maybe Iron Cast.
yeah, Ironcast too, yeah. But also like if you like Animal Crossing, here's a Animal Crossing roguelike,
Yeah,
which is probably a strong selling point for a lot of people. But yeah,
and I'll be
I
honest, like when I got all the upgrades, like that made that part a lot more enjoyable for me. Like
yeah,
having the stupid farmers pick their own food, that was a lifesaver
that's
because
a
I was fed
huge
up with
one.
picking the food. Like
Yep.
I was so annoyed with that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's well designed to the point where it's by the time you're kind of sick of doing X, Y, or Z, the next upgrade you can pick is like, yeah, you can automate this now. It's like great. I'm
Uh-huh.
looking forward to it. Love it.
Yeah, and I ended up with like a whole bunch of the three big vegetables, the beetroot, the cauliflower, and the pumpkin. And if you just keep growing just those three, part of the food that you can cook is the very big meal, and it's a full hunger meter, and it increases happiness and loyalty for everybody. And there
Wow.
is a different version of it that uses twice the materials, I think. But and I love this aspect of it. So and again, pro tip here: the bottom left thing that you can cook is like it's called like a mighty mysterious meal or something like that. It's got a lot of M's in it. Um, and if you look at the description, it stops followers from dissenting.
Ah, interesting.
So
Okay.
if you feed everybody and make sure everybody's eating, and then make a couple of those and go talk to your dissenting follower. I locked this guy in prison,
Right.
made a couple of those, freed him from prison, and sent him to go eat them. And he was like, "Cool, I like your place now."
Yeah, this place is great. Love it.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I feel like we've been talking very positively about this game over the last month, so I feel like
Uh-huh.
it should come as no surprise for me to come here and say, I really like this. If you haven't played this and you're listening to the show, you probably should. It is a very good roguelike, and
Uh-huh.
I highly recommend it. On that note, let's pull up the old list here. We're going to start here at number 25, which is down here somewhere because our list is monstrous now. Is Cult of the Lamb better than Solitarica?
Oh. Yeah, I think it's got a lot more depth to it. My
Well, yeah,
biggest pet my biggest pet peeve with Solitaire was it's the same fights every time.
right. Like every stage is the same. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I agree. Is Cult of the Lamb better than 20XX? Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say so.
yeah,
Boston.
yes.
Boston. The Mega Man sale is on bundle. Bundle is on sale, the remastered version. Should I buy it with someone who has no experience with Mega Man?
I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You got a lot of other games to play.
I got too many games to play. I'll buy
That's
it and then
fair.
play it. That's how many games I've played.
Yeah. Is Cult of the Lamb better than The Legend of Bumbo Classic?
Yes, because
Yes.
well, slightly broken. It wasn't broken. Broken.
Right. Well, and the dev team behind I think the Massive Monster is the dev team behind Cult of the Lamb. They've been working really hard to get a bunch of patches and fixes out.
Yeah, and they've been really like communicative as well throughout the
Yes.
entire thing,
Yep.
like, which is really good to hear.
Is Cult of the Lamb better than Grift Lands? I got confused because there's land and lamb.
Griftlands is a real solid game with like 19 different games built into it.
Pay once, play 20.
Uh-huh. I would say I have more fun with Cult of the Lamb.
That's the same thing I was thinking. Like, I like Riftlands a lot, and I think it's super, super well designed.
It's just too much thinking.
Well, and there's a lot there, and I part of what I like about Cult of the Lamb is the interplay between the two halves of the game. Very much like what I liked Moonlighter for. It's like you got the one side that I like, you got the other side that I like, and you're kind of switching between the two, and that loop feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it over Griftlands. I like that. Is Cult of the Lamb better than Crown Trick?
I like Chrono Trigger a lot.
Yeah, I like
I
Crown
think
Trick way more than
I
I
think
thought.
you might like Chrono Trick more than this if you put considerably more time into Chrono Trick. This is 100% you kind of game. It's a 10-based roguelike. Like, I think
Yeah,
the only thing stopping you on that was the time constraints at the time.
yeah,
So I think Cult of the Lamb, as part of its easy digestible nature, yeah, let's talk about this really quick. This is a good point, good time to bring it up. I don't care if Cult of the Lamb is 15 to 20 hours long.
uh-huh.
I just don't.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
I
judge the
don't.
game based on its quality and stuff like that. If you think it's too quick and too easy, don't play it. Play Gungeon. Don't play it. Play Isaac.
For me, I find that
It's a
a
positive.
positive. Yeah, because like I wanna finish more roguelikes, and if I can get in and out in 20 hours and see everything and have a great time, like I've been having a great time already, great.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Like, I honestly think that if it wasn't the time constraints for it, I'm sure that we would be arguing over Crown Trick going higher on this list. I think
Yeah,
the thing it was your time constraints at the time stopped you from being able to put the time needed in to get past a
yeah.
certain point.
Well, and I think one of my problems with Crown Trick too is I think there are too many huge difficulty spikes.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
yeah, and I think that works. That's why I'm gonna put Cult of the Lamb over Crown Trick for myself, is because I think Cult of the Lamb, as default kind of normal difficulty, is probably a smidge too easy. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's really a negative, because it's easy to not only complete and make progress, but it's easy to recommend to a bunch of people.
Yeah,
So for
and
me, Cult of the Lamb goes over Crown Trick.
I agree. And I also find that it's a good introduction to roguelikes too. It's like, hey, you like Stardew Valley, you like this type of game, you like that type of game,
Right.
and you're interested in roguelikes, give this one a shot.
Yep. It's got what you like, and it's got something new. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cult of the Lamb better than Spelunky? Oh, what a question! Goodness.
Oh boy. Hold on, which one's Spelunky again? I'm kidding. I know
That's right.
Spelunky.
We're the hard part here is like Spelunky is obviously like we always say, it's a classic for a reason, and it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the two of us aren't the biggest Spelunky fans. I mean, we enjoyed it. It's a good game. It's great.
I think
But
it's the fact that Spelunky is a traditional roguelike, and the fact that
right,
it's here is a run, do it, be done with that run, start again.
yeah, there's really
Whereas
no
I think,
meta game.
yeah, that's me and you are 100% preferential to the meta game, the
Yep.
unlocking items, the getting stronger by playing kind of thing. Like,
Right.
Isaac is arguably more traditional as well, but you still unlock a bunch of items which change the game as you
Yeah.
go, and
Yep.
arguably make it more powerful as you go.
Right.
Yeah, I think it goes above it.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Is Cult of the Lamb better than Descenders?
Yes,
There we go.
if only for the fact that I love Descenders. It is amazing. It is one of the most fun times that I've had with video games in the past like 5 to 10 years. But it is very basic. It is very simple. It knows exactly what it is. It doesn't try to be anything other than that. It doesn't have the depth that this has. It has the challenge. It has much more challenge than Cult of the Lamb has, but it doesn't have the depth, those mingling systems, the things working in the background. And again,
Right.
it's a non-progression thing where it doesn't have that meta progression going on at all times.
Right. I will agree with that. Is Cult of the Lamb better than Wizard of Legend? I feel badly for Wizard of Legend because I really like that game. I really enjoyed my time with it,
It's
and
so hard.
I never remember that we played it. And there's like no
Uh-huh.
malice behind it. I look at this list and I go, oh yeah, Wizard of Legend. Yeah, I liked that. That was a good time.
Yeah, but it's also one of those games that has insane difficulty
It's
spikes.
really tough. Yeah.
Like the fact that it makes the bosses of each floor harder as you get further in is impressively annoying.
Right.
Like the amount of times I made it up to that third dungeon boss and just got worked because it was like, oh, okay, well, you move faster, you've got 4 new attacks, and I don't have the time to practice on you because you're the third dungeon, so it's going to take
Yeah.
me a while to get back.
Yep. Yeah, I would put Cult of the Lamb over Wizard of Legend, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Is Cult of the Lamb better than BPM bullets per minute? I don't think two games could be any more different.
No, I don't think so either, to be completely honest.
Boy.
Because we know how you feel about BPM, which is BPM is great when you're horrifically
I
bad at it.
I love it, and I'm so bad. Um, I think I would personally say yeah. I think I had more fun playing Cult of the Lamb. I had fun playing BPM. I just saw like 2% of it.
I'm torn on this one. Because BPM is so unique, was so
Yeah,
unique
yeah,
until people stole the concept and made it bigger.
yeah.
It's the threes problem. The first people
That's
always
right.
get shafted.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I could go above it, to be honest.
Yeah. Is Cult of the Lamb better than Nuclear Throne? Here's another classic. This is where it's starting to get difficult for me.
Uh-huh. With Nuclear Throne is great, but I think the thing with that it's the counter opposing again, where Nuclear Throne is way too difficult.
Yeah,
And I think Cult of the Lamb is maybe a little too easy.
yeah. But Nuclear Throne also doesn't really have any meta progression, which we're
Uh-huh.
kind of leaning towards in general.
Yeah.
I like Nuclear Throne a lot, but my gut says I would put Cult of the Lamb over it because I think from a like moment to moment standpoint, I was having more fun with Cult of the Lamb. I felt
Uh-huh.
like in Cult of the Lamb, even if you had like a quote unquote bad run where you're like, oh, I just got like I had that weapon type I don't like, and like
The dagger,
the
thank you.
yeah, and like the spell I got isn't that great. I can still do pretty well, and like my encampment, my followers were unhappy, and things are really going wrong back at Cult HQ. But I'm still
Uh-huh.
having a fun time cleaning it up. You know, I'm still having a fun time like getting it back on track. And I feel like
Yeah,
with
and it did
Nuclear
have those
Throne,
stressful moments too, where it's
oh
like,
for
oh
sure,
crap, my faith is so far down and I don't know how to get it back up again. Oh no,
I haven't
what's
even
going
been
on?
paying attention to it.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Nuclear Throne, as much as something like Enter the Gungeon, as much as something like Isaac, when you have a bad run, even if you're really good at the game, you're kind of still having a bad run.
Yeah. Yeah. I could go with it with Cult above Nuclear.
Is Cult of the Lamb better than Dicey Dungeons?
I am not the fan of Dicey Dungeons that yourself was, and I believe Monkey was a huge fan of Dicey Dungeons as well.
Yeah, I think we were bigger fans than you are.
I think Dicey Dungeons is better than Cult of the Lamb. Now,
I'm
let me
happy to
explain why
hear
to you.
that because my knee-jerk reaction is the same thing.
Yeah, and I can't explain. I'm
But sure,
glad
go
your
ahead.
knee jerk is the same thing. But the reason why I think Dicey Dungeons is better than Cult of the Lamb, and it comes down, obviously, this is a ranking. It comes down to arbitrary BS that, at the end of the day, really doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
right.
Um, if you want to know where we stand on this, listen to the full range of episodes for each of the games. You'll know
Right.
roughly if you would be interested in playing it.
There is no actual science here.
Don't besmirch our names like that, dude.
That's right.
I think that Dicey Dungeons is better than Cult of the Lamb because, as far as I'm aware, Dicey Dungeons is wholly unique.
Okay.
Cult of the Lamb is, don't get me wrong, it does the combat pretty well. It's got some
Yep.
pretty good spells. I like the tarot card system. I only
Yeah.
just noticed today that the tarot cards are actually flipped upside down for different effects, which
Yep.
is a nice little touch. I like that thing, but at the same time, I've seen it done before. I've seen it done better. Check out number one on our list for as Hades for an example
Right.
of how to do that better.
Right.
I like the base building. I like the construction of materials. But again, it's not something we haven't seen before. It's an amalgamation of like 2 or 3 genres. And don't get me wrong, I love all 3 genres.
Yep.
I love that kind of. I love a survival game. I love a builder game, and I love a roguelike.
And that's why Cult of the Lamb is good and so successful. It's like, hey, if you like X, Y, or Z in these 3 different types of games, it's like that with some other cool stuff mushed into it.
Exactly. And I think that's great. I think the game is fantastic. I've had a lot of fun playing with it. I'm literally 1 achievement away from getting everything in it. That should tell you what you need to know.
Right.
Correction. And I haven't complained about any part of this, really.
That's also an important part of that.
Yes. Because I will go for a full 1000 if I can. But Dicey Dungeons is something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you start the game and you're like, okay, so I'm the thief and I do this, and then I'm the knight and these are my stats and these are my moves. And then you get to the robot and it's like binary inputs, and you get to the witch and it's charging spells. And it's all
Yeah.
the same conceptual way of playing, which is roll the dice.
Yeah.
But every character in that, after the first like traditional 3, every character after that feels so different and so strange to play with.
Yeah.
Like, and not to mention the writing in that is fantastic. The
Yeah.
enemy design in that is also great. In case we forgot, it does have like the people doing the selfies in that game who are some of your enemies.
Yep. It's
Like,
really good.
it's a fantastically unique game, and it might not be for everybody.
Sure.
But I think that is the thing that makes this slightly better than Cult of the Lamb. Because Cult of the Lamb executed fantastic, art is fantastic,
Yep.
the voices is fantastic, the sound design is fantastic, the story is great.
Yep.
But again, it's a lot of tropey kind of stuff, all
Mhm.
smooshed into one. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that Dicey Dungeons' big strength is how unique it is.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it slightly above this, especially in a roguelike sense, where the roguelike part of this is good to great, whereas
Right.
Dicey Dungeons as a roguelike is great to amazing kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I agree with you. I feel like I have less firm reasons more than it feels right sitting at this spot.
Didn't you also just start Dicey Dungeons again on a mobile platform, I believe?
I did. I've been playing it on my phone. The mobile version is really good. So I've been playing a bunch of that. I haven't played that maybe for 2 weeks or so, but yeah, I've been playing that on mobile. And hey, Dicey Dungeons is still good. And for like $5, you get the base game and all the expansions and stuff. So it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I agree. That means Cult of the Lamb is here at number 16 on our list. Early on in the show, that would have been a bad sign, but now we have 48 games in our list. So you're in the top third, which is a really good place to be, right underneath Dicey Dungeons. Thank you as always, everyone, for listening and for joining us. Risk of Rain 2 is our next game for the next month here. And Moon will be on vacation one of the weeks, so we'll probably be skipping 1 week here, potentially, depending on how our schedules go. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and release an episode, but if not, we'll take a week off. No big deal. And we hope you'll join us next run. Bye.
Bye.